Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Cookie Monster of ProForgeRacing, bringing you my 81st Forger review, bowzir. Bowzir is a very talented racetrack forger who mostly makes double wides, and I believe he's a pretty new and upcoming forger. I believe he's also been featured on Laid Back Gaming a few times in the top 10 videos and maybe in some of the reviews as well. But bowzir is a very talented forger. Right here is his first double wide racetrack that is called Vincis Wave. And I'm not sure why it's called Vincis Wave, but I definitely like the map. It's a pretty smooth map made in the Canyon Hemorrhage area, and it has a lot of like giant, like right here there's a huge banked wave, and right here there's a huge jump as well. So it's got some big features, which is nice. I'm not a huge fan of the square turn, as you know I don't like square turns at all, but I think square turns take a little away from double wide racetracks because they're supposed to be, round and wavy. But yeah, I definitely like this map a lot. It's really nice, especially for, I believe this is his first. If it's not his first map, it's one of his older ones, therefore. But yeah, it's a nice map though. There's not a whole lot of scenery besides like a little bit of bordering. Like right here, there's a ton of the brace tunnel pieces, and I mean, it's just like, it's not very creative scenery, he just used a lot of them. But definitely, if it is his first map though, it's definitely an incredibly good map for his first map. The track itself is very smooth, just needs a little bit more scenery in my opinion. This next map is called Island Getaway, and it would be, like, it is a really amazing map, but it would be a lot better if the jumps were more consistent. Because it has the potential to be such a good map, but the jumps just don't work very well. There's a few in particular. This one right here works fine for me. I mean, a little bit of a rough landing, but it works. However, this jump right here through this cool looking little building, I always had to slow down and bounce off the middle of it, and then half the time I would fail still. But if I went straight over the rock part, I would mess up. And that little jump right there is fine. And then this turn here, the landing of the jump, there's like a shield that brings you, and the landing of it almost never works. I almost always catch my back tires and end up rolling and flipping. But the little jumps like this one and stuff work pretty well. I had trouble a few times with this rock one right here, that's made out of rocks and stuff. But I mean, overall, it's a really nice map, but there's some jumps that just almost always fail, so it kind of ruins the map, which is too bad because it's a very nice map otherwise. This next map is an awesome hybrid track. It's got some cool different airplanes and stuff in the sky, and a few different buildings and stuff, and over here there's this big design, like some sort of a building or structure. It's pretty cool looking. This map is called Selkoth, or Selkuth, I think Selkoth though, and it's, as you can tell, it's a nice map, but it also has some cool scenery. So he's already, 2 maps later, he's already improving on scenery, which is awesome, because he's a really talented forger, and it's nice to see that he's adding some scenery in his maps, which make them even better, because he already made good maps, but now they're even better with the scenery as well. And as you can tell, these turns are just like really big and really smooth, like this one on particular. There was another scenery piece to the right there that I missed in the overview, towards the cave area. But yeah, it's a really nice hybrid. It's got smooth transitions. There's a little jump right here. It's just a nice map in general. I mean, there's good scenery, smooth double wide. It's just a great map overall, definitely. Now this next map here is kind of a city track. It's just very simple. It's called Elementary, and he said it's called Elementary because it's simple, and elementary school is simple, I guess. It's got a little building with a smokestack, a higher building, and then some sort of scenery piece. Not sure what exactly it's supposed to be. And then there's a park with like a bench, and there's a couple like street lights and street signs and stuff. It's similar to like my map Boulevard, but even much smaller, much simpler. But he does have the middle lines, the double, middle lines and the roads, which is cool. Definitely makes it feel a little more like a road. As you can see a little bit here, I get a little bit lost. As with all city maps, you know, the lap can be confusing when you get to the checkpoint is at one place, and from that place, you could either go left or right, and you don't know. And so, you know, a few times you'll catch me starting to go the other way, but then the checkpoint is the opposite way. But overall, it's a good map. I mean, it's well designed. It's got some cool scenery. The lap works pretty well. I think for such a small map, the lap's a little long because you go over the same parts a few times. But it's not bad. I think I would much prefer this map if there's a little more to it. But overall, he did a good job. I love the start on this next map. That a little starting area looks really cool from overhead, and it's got some cool, unique scenery pieces on this map. This is definitely a unique map right here. This map is called Haze, and there was a couple parts of this map I wasn't fond of, but the rest of it I did like. Again, the scenery on the side there is just kind of like a bordering of one piece going all the way around it, which gets a little boring, but I mean, it's still, at least it's better than no scenery. The track itself is still incredibly smooth and very well made. Right here I had trouble with that part, actually. I flipped pretty much every other lap on that part. I'm not sure what the trick is to it. And I had some trouble with this part as well, where you keep bouncing. It's just, I'm sure it works sometimes, but I seem to keep messing that part up. Because when I landed the bounce, I had too much force and I hit it and then started kind of rolling or flipping or whatever. So, that was a bit problematic. But, yeah, it's a cool map. He uses, like, right here, some very unique pieces that you haven't really seen at all in any other racetrack. So he makes it look really nice. And then this little end jump with one little shield door works, and then the awesome starting area. So besides a few little jump problems, that map was really nice. This next map is called Valium, and it's a very, very smooth map. And again, kind of lacking scenery. The only scenery is one piece used over and over and over and over as bordering, but the track itself on this one is amazing. That seems to be constant with bowzir. His jumps are often a little messed up and the scenery is a little dull, but the tracks themselves are amazingly smooth. So if he can work on getting his jumps to work more often, or just not adding jumps. Jumps are fun, but I think I'd rather no jumps than bad jumps. And I'm not saying his jumps are bad, they need to be tweaked. But no jumps are better than inconsistent jumps. So he should either work a lot on making the jumps more consistent, or just try not to add them. Just, add different fun things like elevators or, something else like that. Because his tracks, like right here, it's amazing. I love the little wall he used on this part. I think that looks awesome. And I love this little split section around the tree. I should have done that on Paradisal Path, but I didn't even think of it. I love that part, though. So his tracks are amazing, though. So if he could just fix the jumps and get some scenery on there, like themed scenery, his maps would be like some of the best out there. As you can tell from the overview of this next map, it's absolutely smooth. It's incredible, like from the overview. It's a very nice map. This one is called Clarity, and I believe it's his second newest map as of now, and it's just such a nice map. The track itself is very smooth. There are some scenery pieces. Instead of doing the, like going or lining up actually, I guess he did it once. He lined the turn with one piece just over and over. That seems to be something he often does. He'll take a turn and line it up and with several pieces, but they'll all be identical pieces. But, I mean, again, it's better than nothing. But he did add a couple, random scenery pieces. HJ117 style. HJ117 always adds random scenery pieces. And they look nice, but they aren't anything. So when I see scenery that looks nice but isn't anything, it's just like random, modern, futuristic looking designs. I call it like HJ scenery. But yeah, as you can tell, it's a really nice and smooth map. Not a fan of that square turn right there, or this kind of like drift square turn, but at least he reconnected it smoothly. I'd rather see him, and the little jump there works nice too. I'd rather see him reconnect it nicely than, shittily, even if it has a square turn. And this next map here has an amazing overview. As you can tell, it's just like perfect spirals and waves. It's just like perfect circles. This one's nice. This one's called Limerence, and as of now it's his newest map. It does have some scenery pieces. I don't believe this one has any of the bordering, which is good. Instead, he's moving on to more scenery pieces. The double eye just keeps getting better and better and smoother, and it's just amazing. He just makes like the best double-eyed maps ever. Not the best ever, but I give bowzir credit to making very smooth double-eyed maps. And right there, I kind of hit the man cannon and it messed me up, but then it ended up working out because I did like a perfect 360 spin, so that was awesome. But yeah, his maps, I mean, they couldn't really get any smoother than they are. They're incredible, but just fix the jumps and add some scenery, maybe some themed scenery too, or a little more scenery, and yeah, his maps would be incredible. But yeah, right here there's a little jump, and his jumps are improving a little bit because I had no trouble with the one on this map. But anyways, please go to bowzir's file share, bowzir, download all his maps. They're incredible. I'm sure he'll have more to come. Thank you guys very much for watching.
Cookie out. Nom 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 nom.